Hi, I'm Bill Corcoran Jr. This is the On the Stacks podcast.
Oh yeah, whoa, look, they can never keep me down, I'm going, and if I ever fail, just know I'll go again. I never quit, cause I know that every loss may lead to another win. I'm going up.
Today's guest is KULICK, an American recording artist, producer, engineer, and co-owner of the production studio, the Pear Entertainment. KULICK, who was born half deaf, started writing music at the age of 12 as an outlet for bullying and anxiety. In this episode, we delve into the creative process and explore the relationship between high performance and substance abuse in the creative arts and music industry. KULICK also shares his strategies of working through panic attacks and anxiety in healthy ways. This episode would not be possible without the support of our sponsors, so please check them out in the show notes. I'm your host, Bill Corcoran Jr., and this is KULICK on the Stacks.
My inner voice is so loud. My anxiety level's pretty high. This takes so much brain power. Like, I feel like if I wasn't born half deaf, socializing wouldn't be such a big deal. Whereas it's so draining for me to talk to people because I have to be focused so much on like every word they're saying. But I think that's what made me an artist. All the things that I've gone through in my life with bullying or hearing loss or whatever it may be, taking those things and making them a positive or making art with it, or like I said, like the introversion thing, like I personally kind of like that. It makes me write more, it makes me think more to myself. I don't share too much with other people unless I feel really close with them and they understand who I am.
This episode is brought to you by Burn, the fitness company behind the Today Show approved Burn board. If I'm being honest, working out can be a real chore, especially as a new dad in desperate need of sleep and cardio. Burn is founded by NEPA native Jimmy T. Martin, and his Burn board offers a low-impact core and cardio experience unlike anything I've done before. They have hundreds of on-demand workouts that are great for beginners, seasoned athletes, and out-of-shape podcast hosts who love supporting small businesses. My wife and I use it pretty frequently throughout the week, and it's honestly a great way to burn a ton of calories without burning a ton of cash. Not to mention, it's a great tool for skiers, runners, wrestlers, and hockey players. Jimmy is offering all On the Stacks listeners 15% off when they use the code STACKS15. Visit theburn.com today to get 15% off your purchase with code STACKS15 at checkout. Again, that's theburn, THEBRRN.com to get 15% off your purchase with code STACKS15. It's time to get on board today with Burn. This episode is brought to you by Kavanaugh's Grill, one of my favorite places to eat and drink in NEPA. They've got one of the best outdoor patios with 13 TVs and over 20 beers on tap. You can also dine inside at this cozy Irish-style pub where your beer never goes empty. Did I mention how delicious their food is? Their in-house smoked brisket, barbecue ribs, and wings are to die for. So grab your friends and have a drink on me at Kavanaugh's. Mention code STACKS for one free draft beer with purchase of any entree when you dine in. Located at 163 North Main Street in Mountaintop, Kavanaugh's is open at 4 p.m. during the week and 12 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday during football season. Dine in today at Mountaintop's only Irish-style pub.
Hey Northeast PA, Paul Perfect Storm here. Do you want your kitchen or bathroom to go from this to this? Well, Perfect Storm can do it.
Need a kitchen or bath remodel and don't know who the experts are? Perfect Storm Renovations. Expert designers and installers who can help you achieve the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Schedule your free in-home design today. Perfect Storm Renovations. High-end quality anyone can afford.
What's up, podcast? It's your host, Bill Corcoran Jr. here in the Blue Door Studio, protected by our friends at Ritchie Security Solutions. KULICK, welcome to the On the Stacks podcast.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped. I'm thankful you made the trip here, and I know you're happy to be back in like a real studio here.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's been a minute. Most of the interviews and podcasts have been, Zoom and
virtual. A lot of virtual stuff, man.
A lot of virtual stuff. I was over it before it started. I really was, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's what everybody says, but all of that, the virtual performances we had to do, live streams, it was all just in the apartment. It was
exhausting.
I much prefer the human connection.
Yeah. It's a lot better.
Yes.
It's so much better.
Yeah.
And I was just telling you, like right before we came on too, we were talking about documentaries and kind of kind of relates to kind of what you just said, but I was telling you how I'm obsessed with documentaries, and I really enjoy watching documentaries about musicians, you know, and obviously everybody that's watching right now knows you're obviously a musician. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I just documentaries in general, I just find just so fascinating because it's just real life stuff, you know, kind of like a podcast, right? It's like, this is almost like a little mini documentary in a way, you know?
Yeah. I think it's just a lot more mentally stimulating.
It is.
In comparison to something that is written for a television show or something. Not that I don't enjoy television too, but something about I don't know. I like learning. I really enjoy learning.
It's like, it's like educational. Like, yeah. Absolutely. Isn't it weird? I feel like, because like we probably all grew up like hating stuff like that. Like we as a kid, you didn't like the educational stuff. I mean, maybe you did. I don't know.
Did I? No, it had to be the right topic.
I definitely didn't.
No, not for anything.
I don't know. I mean, the only time I enjoyed like actually watching anything like educational in school was when like the teacher put like, you know, the
cassette,
you know, the VCR, right? Like, you know, the VHS, like, and then you got like that free class where you got to
not pay attention.
You just got to like watch like a movie, but it usually was something educational, but it was always like really bad.
That just threw me back to how easy it was to sleep during those.
Oh my God.
Because the lights were off, the TV's on. It's like, how do you expect anybody?
Did you sit in the front or the back of the room?
I think it was assigned. I think it was assigned seats for my school.
What school did you go to?
Tamaqua area middle school and high school.
Okay.
I think it was assigned seats because there was never specific seats.
Like maybe like alphabetical or something.
Yeah. And then if it was a class I liked, I asked to sit in the front. I used the hearing thing. And then if I didn't like it, I just wouldn't tell anybody anything.
It's like, I can't hear you. Like, what? Like,
no.
Yeah.
But if it was something I liked, it was definitely like, or if the teacher was soft spoken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, I was usually, you know, same thing. If I liked the class, I was a little more towards the front, but usually I was the kid in the back sleeping during the movie.
Yeah, no, we never had choices. It was definitely alphabetical. Actually, it was definitely alphabetical because most of the classes I sat next to the same people. Not next to, because the rows were different, but in front or behind, it was always the same person.
Okay. Yeah. I usually got just separated from my friends because I just like, I was obnoxious.
Yeah. I didn't have friends to be obnoxious, so it was fine. I was just in my own little thing all the time. Yeah.
I would be obnoxious regardless, you know, but definitely separated from my friends.
Yeah.
You know, if I had classes with some of my friends, you know, the teachers knew. They're like, oh, no.
Yeah.
We're not putting him next to his buddies.
No, I was the opposite of high energy. I was like, remember like, you know, like the move where like I would do like this study move.
Oh yeah, in the sleep. You would,
just feel the arm kick out.
Classic move.
Yeah,
classic. But did you keep the pencil kind of like this though?
Yeah.
To make it look like, you know, you were right.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, actually, I would go like this. I'd have one like this, and then just randomly move my hand.
Yeah.
If the teacher ran by, I was probably just a bunch of scribbles.
You're just like drawing like circles, just like, you know.
That was at least till period like 5.
Right.
Yeah, and then I would be awake after like lunch or so.
Yeah, for like the last like class or two of the day. Yeah.
Unless I had like swimming in the morning or something, and then I was woken up because it was freezing cold, and you know you had to swim for gym class, which was terrible.
You guys had a swim class too? I thought
we had a swim class.
I thought my high school was like the only one that had.
We had a swim class. We did like, what is it, water polo. Then we had this thing where we literally had to like, I don't know if we held a brick, but I think we did on the bottom of the pool, and you had to hold your breath for a minute. Like that was like a test. Yeah.
Were they trying to kill you?
I just can't believe that they like give you a pass or fail on that. Like what about people who aren't in shape? How are they, you know, like it's like getting a grade for like running a mile run at a certain amount of time. I think they put a cap on that for like 20 minutes. Like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You can walk that. You'll be all right.
Right.
But yeah.
Did you pass the brick test?
I mean, I'm here, so I definitely I got out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You didn't drown.
I didn't drown, and I graduated. So
all good.
I guess I passed.
You made it.
Yeah, I did it. I was not a fan of school. And I went to a vocational school, actually, starting my sophomore year of high school. So for half the year, I only had first period, which was usually math, because for some reason they deemed that as the one that was important to take. And then I took a bus, or I drove 45 minutes away to the nearest vocational school, Frackville, and I did construction.
Okay.
So like I had my vocational, like I was going to be a carpenter immediately after high school. So I wasn't really in high school in real high school the last 3 years of my high school career.
Yeah. So why didn't you like school?
So the short of it is I went to an elementary school that was like in the country because I grew up in West Penn Township, and that's like mostly farms and everything. And I went to school there, was kind of like a cool kid there and got along with everybody. And then middle school, it was 3 different like townships merged. It was West Penn Township, which was like country and farms. It was Tamaqua, which was the town, and then it was Hometown, which was like kind of richer people, but not the country. So no one really got along, and that shock, it became everybody was bullying everybody, and I was like 5 foot up until I was like a senior. All of a sudden, I got my growth spurt like way late. So middle school was absolutely terrible with being picked on. I was also, like I said earlier, like I was like born half deaf, so I was getting picked on for the hearing loss, and also like kind of just not. I would tune out all the time because I just didn't want to listen to anybody or even have to explain that. So I just did not like the social aspect of school. The learning was fine. I don't mind. I like learning if the subject is important to me and it brings value to my life. Like I don't mind learning about it. But yeah, I did not like that. Everything between the learning, I did not like. It's like the class, and then you had the 3 minutes to the next class. The anxiety of getting there on time, having to go to your locker. If you're gonna get put in a locker by somebody, you know, it's like
worst. You forget your combination.
Yeah,
oh my God, you're screwed.
Exactly. Spin. Oh, I have to spin this again.
Start over 2 times to 0.
Yep. And then I get yelled at for carrying too many books. I'm like, I'm carrying all these, so I don't have to stop my locker. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't a fan of that. And then high school was fine because of vocational school. And then that's when I joined a band. So I all of a sudden was the cool kid again.
At what age?
I started a cover band called Story of Another at the age of 15.
So was this your first like dabble in music?
I was writing songs at like 13 or 14, just in my bedroom on an acoustic guitar. I kind of like wrote journal entries, and then I started writing songs, which is a common story for a lot of musicians that I know.
What'd you write about?
Pretty much what I was going through with feeling like really alone. That's a loaded question.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's a good one. It's a good one.
Yes, it's a good question. But just like feeling very in my head and lonely, and I'm a middle child. I wasn't able to really go anywhere because we lived in the country, so it was kind of just a lot of seclusion. And then even when I was in public, with being hard of hearing, it was like I'm kind of going to try to not talk anyway. I think it made me more introverted than I would have been. I'm actually becoming more introverted now in my later years, I will say, but later years, 30s.
Yeah,
but
you're so old, man.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel like I'm old. But yeah, I forget what you asked me a question.
What would you write about?
Oh yeah, music. So the loneliness and stuff, and then I also like kind of like just tried to write songs to write a good song. Like I loved listening to like Tom Petty, and he's such a good storyteller, and a bunch of other artists that I listened to that like I just wanted to try to make, you know, songs that weren't so personal either. So I would always write about like, you know, pretending that I can get a senior as my girlfriend or something, or, you know, like that was like one of the first originals that cover band ever played. It was literally like a song like fantasizing that like this senior girl would like me as like a sophomore. I didn't even know the person. I never even talked to her. But yeah, so, you know, it was a bunch of different topics, but it definitely was very, and still to this day is very freeing and therapeutic for me, and always has been. It's the only reason why I still do it.
Yeah. Just like the you know, like the writing and actually like putting down like your thoughts and emotions on paper.
It's the whole process. It's literally, I love writing lyrics because I don't even know how I'm feeling about something until I write something, and then I read it back and I'm like, oh shit, like that's what I'm going through.
Now then you understand it.
Yep. And then after that, the recording process, singing, like the feeling, like have you ever like just yelled when you're pissed? Like it's like that, but like beautiful because you're singing. So like like I used to like, you know, like really just like scream out whatever I could, and I was a terrible singer when I started to. Like I had to get better with pitch. I just wanted that feeling, but that feeling felt great. And then maybe a year after I recorded that, I would listen to it again and be like, oh yeah, it's like looking at a photo. You're like, oh, that's who I was. That's what I was going through. I don't know if like my memory's horrible or what, but like it just helps me remember who I am, who I was, and what I was going through. And like it gives me
It's very interesting.
Yeah, it gives me perspective, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I still love to do it. Like it's crazy. Like, okay, I started basically writing at 14 or 15. I'm 31. So like more than half my life I've been doing that. Like it's habit at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild to think about that like now, isn't it?
Yeah. It actually like makes me a little bit emotional. Yeah. Like it's been a journey, and you can tell when you're writing, or at least for me, listening to my songs, when I was going through something really, really tough, and when I was just writing because it's the next year
and you had to do something.
Yeah, and I'm just writing another album, you know. And I wasn't always just writing albums either. Like I'm writing all the time, but when now as a career, you know, as a career musician, I'm trying to write albums or singles, but usually I like albums because I like it as a photo book, where it's like, this was what I was doing at this time in my life.
It's like a chapter.
Yeah, it's a chapter. I don't really want to write sentences. I want to write chapters, and the sentences should be in a chapter. I love albums. I can't get on the, you know, I understand that musicians release singles now and it's good for the algorithm and blah, blah, fucking blah. But, and I'll do that, but I'll write the album and then we'll release those singles for the album. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not trying to just write a one-off anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll change, depends who I write with and stuff, but I usually just write completely by myself, or I'll co-write with April, my partner, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So, okay, so I want to go back to, you mentioned a couple times about, you being born hard of hearing, and one of the things I found so fascinating about you, and I'm like very interested to like hear about and learn about, is you're born half deaf, right? And you're a musician. I mean, that's, you need the hearing. And it's just such a unique thing, I think, about you as a musician. And I want to understand, what that experience was like for you growing up, and then how it affected you kind of in your music career once you got started.
So I was born with sensory neural hearing loss. And basically that just means that I was born half deaf. That's what I tell people. But if you think of an EQ graph, low frequencies and high frequencies, I can hear pretty well in low frequencies, and then it starts to dip off in mids, and then it dips off even more in treble. So anybody talking, it's pretty much like that. That's what you're gonna hear.
Yeah.
But I never really knew or thought about the impact of my hearing loss and being a musician, because I was just born like that, so you don't know you're missing it. I definitely hear, obviously, a huge difference when I wear my hearing aids and the frequencies that I'm missing. But I never really wore my hearing aids until about 3 years ago. So most of my life, I didn't really wear hearing aids. I'd wear them here and there. I'd kind of wear them almost for school sometimes if it was a class I liked or whatever.
You want to pay attention.
Exactly. Or if I wanted to listen to music, because they had Bluetooth. So I was like listening to music during classes, which is probably not great.
Yeah.
But I don't think it affected me as a musician. It might have affected me as a singer it took me a while to really be a good singer. Like if you ask anybody in my family, they will say I was a complete piece of shit singer for many years. Many years.
Funny.
Because I was singing in my bedroom in this closet that I took the doors off of and made like a studio.
Right.
And they were like, Jake, can you please just like shut the hell up for one day, because it's not even good. And I'm like, no, but I'll keep working. And I eventually got good.
But thanks for your opinion.
Yeah, no, it was fine. I mean, they were wrong. I watched footage of it. It's bad.
Yeah.
Like I'm
this
accepting
footage
of that.
Still exists?
I have it. I have the footage. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely have footage of me.
When are you releasing it?
I have some footage.
Listen, we're gonna put together a documentary of your life.
That's when I release it.
Okay.
That's when I'll release it.
All right. As long as I need to get a cameo in there, maybe we can put a little bit of this in there.
We'll put this clip right here.
There you go. How about that? Yeah.
Anyway, but no, I don't think it affected my ability to make music, because I'm not fully deaf. Even people who are fully deaf feel music. Like music is vibration. Like I know people who are fully deaf that they go to concerts still and they feel it. They feel the kick drum. They feel like they still understand the music, if that makes sense. I actually think that helped me as well with feeling the music more. I definitely like low end more, I will say. Like my mixes and my songs have a lot more low end than I think most songs do. I try to not do that as much if I'm recording another artist, obviously, and I definitely got better at mixing. Like mixing is a completely different thing compared to being an artist with hearing loss. That's something for sure. I definitely mix with my hearing aids in so that frequencies are bad. But definitely did not affect my ability to play guitar, like listen to music. No, it didn't affect that at all.
How about like your mindset, your mentality? Because I know like you said a few minutes ago that like you did get picked on a little because you were hard of hearing as a kid. Like how did that affect you?
Yes, but I think the way I frame it in my head is like everybody has something that they had to like go through, and that's what makes them. So this is just mine.
Yeah, but it's so I think it's so unique.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely elaborate on it.
Especially because like you're in a music career. I don't know why I'm like fascinated by it. I'm also just really I also told you back to the documentary thing. I'm just fascinated by musician documentaries too. I love just being able to like see somebody's journey like from like nothing to something.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, it's just again I don't care what genre of music. It's just documentaries just about like musicians to me are just fascinating.
Yeah, I get it. I tried to pretend it wasn't real. I just ignored it and continued forward.
So it didn't really bother you much.
It didn't bother me much, but I think that's what made me so persistent and such a hard ass, because I'm just like, we'll just get through it. You're feeling pain, just get through it. You have this, just get through it. Like it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because not everybody has that, and sometimes the situations don't call for it, where it's like, just get through it. Like, no, maybe take a moment, and I'm learning that a little bit too. But I don't know. I always, again, I didn't really feel that I was half deaf because I never acknowledged it that much. My family definitely didn't acknowledge it or were really that aware that it was that big of a deal. I still don't really think they really understand it that much, which is okay. And I'm trying to think as a musician with hearing loss.
Like, do people ask you about it a lot?
They do, and I never have good answers for them because I don't think about it. I'm like, I can't let it define who I am or what I'm doing or.
Well, that's it. That's the good answer.
I guess so. I wish I had something better though.
It's still pretty good, man. Seriously.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know how it affected? It made me turn my headphones up louder when I listen to music. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's it. And most people like loud music. I mean, I love loud music.
Yeah, who doesn't, right?
Yeah. No, but it did not affect me. Not affect me as an artist. Did not affect me as a musician. I think, if anything, it affected me in life. Like I said, like being more introverted, being more kept to myself. I try not to make eye contact when I talk to a lot of people because I don't really want to engage.
You're making good eye contact right now.
I am, but I have headphones on, and I would normally be looking at your lips, reading your lips. I will say, for sure. And I'm also very conscious of it. This takes so much brain power. Like, I feel like if I wasn't born half deaf, socializing wouldn't be such a big deal. Whereas it's like, it's so draining for me to talk to people because I have to be focused so much on like every word they're saying. In music, it doesn't affect that much. I can tweak everything. I can turn volumes up. I can, but
an everyday interaction it's amplified for you. And I totally 100% understand that feeling. Because like it's, you're trying to have a conversation, you're trying to pay attention to somebody. And for you, it's like twice as hard.
Yes. And on top of that, a lot of people with hearing loss have mental, not problems, and I don't want to say disorders either, but battles. Like my inner voice is so loud. My anxiety level's pretty high. I don't know if that has to do with my hearing loss. I think it does. So when I'm trying to talk to somebody, I have to really focus, and then I also hear my internal voice, and then I'm literally the internal voice is like, just dip out of this conversation, like we're done. Like my brain's pretty tired now, so like maybe just disengage.
Yeah, so you're trying to talk, but you also have another voice talking over that voice, and you're like, wow, way too much here.
Yes,
too much stimulation.
But I think that's what made me an artist. So just like every other artist who has every artist has something. Every artist has something that is wrong with them that makes them hypersensitive or hyper aware. And for the most part, the ones that I've met and like usually have something where it's like
it's enabled them to excel.
Yes.
They're able to able to use it as a tool to be able to focus in on something, to be able to really make something great.
Yes. And if I didn't, then I feel for people who don't have an outlet, who are struggling with something, because you can make it part of, like, you can make it something great for yourself, if that makes sense. Like I think all the things that I've gone through in my life with bullying or hearing loss or whatever it may be, taking those things and making them a positive, or making art with it, or like I said, like the introversion thing, like I personally kind of like that. It makes me write more. It makes me think more to myself. I don't share too much with other people unless I feel really close with them and they understand who I am.
Allows you maybe to be more creative.
I never experienced it without it, so I don't know if I would be more or less creative, but I think it makes me more creative.
Yeah, I would think so.
Because it makes me more in my head, and to be creative, you have to be in your head.
Yeah. How do you get into that zone?
To what? To
like,
write?
Yeah, to write, to feel like you're creative, like you're like in like a flow state of writing, creating music. On the Stacks will be back in a flash after a word from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Elevation Wellness, NEPA's premier wellness center located on Mundy Street in Wilkes-Barre. From pro athletes to busy parents, Elevation Wellness is leading the conversation when it comes to bettering your health through integrative medicine. Founded by NEPA native Louis Helmecke, Elevation Wellness offers physician-formulated and guided treatments that are administered by registered nurses. To learn more about how you can experience the benefits of IV vitamin therapy, multivitamin booster shots, non-invasive aesthetics, or peptide, NAD, red light, and compression therapy, visit elevation-wellness.com or follow them on Instagram at Elevation Wellness NEPA. All On The Stacks listeners will receive 10% off their first purchase with code STACKS at checkout. Call 570-762-9400 or visit elevation-wellness.com to book your appointment today. Elevation Wellness, taking your health to new heights. Welcome to the future. While you're hearing this ad in the present, the Center for Technology Innovation at Lackawanna College is preparing students for the jobs of tomorrow in the world of advanced technology. The Center for Technology Innovation will offer undergraduate degree programs, corporate training, as well as short-term stackable certificates in areas such as robotics, cybersecurity, electric vehicles, virtual reality, and artificial intelligence. Based at a 90,000 square foot facility in downtown Scranton, Pennsylvania, the Center for Technology Innovation is located 2 hours from the major cities of New York, New Jersey, and Philadelphia, and is just 15 minutes from a commercial airport in a region thriving with tourist attractions and a vibrant restaurant, educational, and cultural scene. Lackawanna College is a proven industry-leading innovator. But don't just take my word for it. Fast Company even recognized Lackawanna College's reputation for innovation by naming them to their top 10 list as one of the world's most innovative companies. For more information or to enroll, call 877-346-3552 or visit lackawanna.edu.
I have the privilege of representing people who have been injured through no fault of their own, and they come to us and they place a lot of trust in us, and we represent them against corporations and insurance companies, and we make those companies know that our clients have a story, that they deserve compensation, and I'm proud to be able to do that for our clients at Anzalone Law.
To learn more, visit Anzalone Law offices online at anzalonelaw.com. And now we're back on the Stacks. You're like in like a flow state of writing, creating music.
Yeah, it's different all the time. I write pretty much daily, like in a notepad or something, even if it's like 2 lines, or like I literally wrote a song today in 15 minutes on a run. Like, it's pretty good, I think. Sometimes it's shit, but the flow that you're talking about, I've experienced flow in recording, where the way to get that for me is literally to have a time block where I'm not focusing on anything but recording. So it's like, all right, today from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I'm going to record, and no phone, no social media, no anything. And I'm just going to go at it. And I can get in that pretty easy. Doesn't mean the product's good. Doesn't mean that what I do is going to make me feel like, you know, I made something amazing. But I believe in like the stoic thing where it's like, you know, do the work every day, and that's what I'm grateful for no matter what. And I do that every day. I try to write every day. I don't know if I record every day, but I'm trying to do that a little bit more. But yeah, I love, I don't know. I don't know if there's a correct like way to get into that. There's no way to force yourself into that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So if you weren't doing music, what would you be doing? Building houses?
Yeah, I'd be roofing specifically. I started roofing at 14 years old with my dad and uncle's company in Coaldale, Pennsylvania, and I did that every summer for about $7 an hour, I think it was.
So you made a lot of money.
I did make a lot of money, and I spent it all on the lumber to build a half pipe in my backyard.
Nice.
Yeah, because I love rollerblading.
Solid.
Yeah, so I was inline rollerblading on the half pipe, and then the insurance people came and said
you can't do that.
Have that, and then my dad burned it.
Oh no.
That's a true story. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But I mean, it had to happen. That's all right. We had to get rid of the trampoline too. So you know.
Oh man. No fun.
But I would probably, if I wasn't a musician, yeah. I mean, I went to school in Philadelphia for audio production, so I have my degree in audio engineering. I actually graduated like with like all these awards and stuff, and like no one knew that I was hard of hearing. And then on the podium, I was like, by the way, I was born like with hearing loss. And you gave me like all these awards for like audio engineering. So that's I feel like that is cool. Like
that is cool.
That
is very cool.
Show off, but
yeah.
But yeah, maybe I'd be working in a studio. I'm still kind of working in a studio, you know, like, I record with my company that I co-own with my partner, April, and it's called The Pear. And we do, PEAR, The Pear. And we record other artists, and produce, and then we mix and master it as well, to try to help other artists, because other artists, like with ourselves being artists, we have been in studios and we know what that's like. And I hate that people have to go into studios and they pay the day rate, and then it's kind of just like a guy there pressing record, and there's no coaching and there's no anything, you know, to help them
You're
out.
just on your own.
Yeah. So we try to help them out. And we also know, you know, artist budgets. So like we try to do it. So it's like, all right, we can make money, but like also you're not, you know, whatever. But yeah, maybe I'd be doing that more and not also being an artist, you know. But yeah, or building houses. Probably building houses. If I never got into music, definitely building houses.
Definitely building houses.
Yeah, like I went to school for that. Like Votech, got the degree, was about to like, you know, I was debating taking over the company with my brother. Definitely would have been doing construction.
What made you decide not to do that?
What made me decide to not do that? I think I decided that I fucking hated it. Just the grind. Like if it was my company, I was like debating it, but I did it from 13 to like 21 or 14 to 21. So that's 7 years. Like I had a career in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I know I started young, but like I was really doing it.
Yeah.
So
for a long time.
Yeah. So I was already ready to retire.
You were burnt out.
Yeah. I was burnt out from that. And then I was like, well, let me just see if there's an audio production thing. I went to the local L-Tri-C college for a year for audio production, and then I transferred to Philadelphia.
Nice.
Yeah.
So okay, so you graduated from the school down in Philly, and then like what was the plan? Like what were you gonna do? Like what did you think, you know, you're gonna be able to do with that?
Yeah. So the trajectory was I had the cover band called Story of Another. We were doing really well, getting paid great. We were doing summers, like graduation parties and block parties, and like in Tamaqua, the cover band scene was like, it was literally us, this band called Never Shout Maggie, and then there were like there's a cover band called Camel Toe. Did you know them?
I don't think so.
You don't know Camel Toe?
Well, I know Camel Toe, but maybe not that Camel Toe. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, it was a 3-part harmony, amazing band. Terrible name, but
Terrible name.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever. But they were so good, and then we were getting recognition, and like we were like starting to book with them, and we knew what their rate was. We were starting to do good.
Yeah, nobody wants to get the Camel Toe, so like,
Everyone loved Camel Toe in Tamaqua.
Weird town, man.
I know.
What the hell's going on there?
Yeah, very strange town.
Yeah.
Anyway, so after high school, I was like, guys, we should just buy a van and try to tour. And everyone was like, no, we got to go to college. The drummer had to go to college. The guitar player had to go to college. The bass player didn't really care. And then I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to go to college then. And then I went to Philly. I was going to school there. I started to do my solo music for the first time ever. I was playing just an acoustic and myself. Open mic nights on Dobbs, legendary Dobbs on South Street. I would do that. I would play random shows. My first show ever as a solo musician, I entered a contest on toplip.com. It was some competition website, and this guy named Tyler Ward. Do you know who Tyler Ward is?
I don't think so.
Okay, he was a YouTube guy, huge.
I guess I probably should know him.
Nah,
Not
I don't
anymore.
know. I mean,
Okay.
he's still doing stuff for sure,
Okay.
and I'm a fan of his. But he had a contest for openers, and I entered this bracket. It was like a month and a half long, and you had to keep getting your fans to vote and vote and vote, and then they voted and I won. So I got to open at the Theater of Living Arts, which is a big venue in Philadelphia for my first show ever, in a decent, like, I was shaking. I was so nervous. Like, but that was my first show I ever did
That's
as a
super
solo
cool.
musician. Yeah, it was crazy. Anyway, fast forward. So do that. Then I graduate. I moved to Hackensack, New Jersey. I start working at Sam Ash Music Store. And I also applied to be a broadcast engineer at CBS Radio in New York. And I got that job, and it was literally just making sure the radio signal was being sent to the Empire State Building, but it was for 8 radio stations of CBS. So I worked there overnights pretty much, just watched Netflix the whole time. Like, they had the Netflix signed in, and I like watched the meters. If anything went off, I had to call whoever to get it back on air. And they would always say, like, you need to make sure it's back on air within a minute and a half, because it's like $1 million a minute in ads.
Loss.
So yeah, like that's why they
Yikes.
hired someone to literally sit there and just make sure the meters are green. Never really happened for me, so nothing happened bad. So that was great. But that is where I'm giving you the story as fast as I can.
Yeah.
So that is where I met this girl named Ashley, who knew this guy named Joe Riccatelli, who was the EVP of RCA. And she was like, we should do a song together. And I was like, your music is not very good, but I will do that to meet this guy. I didn't tell her that, but I was like, all right, yeah, I'll do that, to help, whatever.
Yeah.
So she keeps flaking out on me that we're supposed to meet this guy, and she keeps saying, oh, we can't make it. So I literally guessed his email, which was his first name with a period and then his last name at RCA. That was it. That was literally his email. And I emailed him. I was like, hey, I'm in New York. I was supposed to meet you today. Can I please meet you and play you some music? I was in Hackensack, New Jersey. So I lied. I went for a run. I came back, and he had an email. I had an email, and he replied and was like, I'm free in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Bring music.
Oh, and you're like, oh no.
So I jumped in my car, and I drove to New York. I double parked in front of the building, got a huge parking ticket.
How fast did you get there?
Probably 25 minutes.
Did you tell him like, hey, I'll be there in 20?
I said, see you in a bit.
Okay,
That was
see you in
it.
a bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was it.
All right,
I don't even know if I replied. Honestly, I'm not sure.
You're just like, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah. It was literally, I'm free in the next 15 to 20 minutes. And then his assistant emailed me and was like, hey, just to let you know, there's probably a decent amount of traffic because the Pope's here. It was something like that, because I said
Something
I was in
crazy.
the city. Yeah, it had something to do with the Pope, because I remember the Pope was there. But anyway, I get there, I double park, I go up, I play him music. He's like, this is pretty cool, whatever. And then literally for a year and a half, I played him music and kept growing and growing. And he was like, this is great, whatever, blah, blah. And then eventually got signed to RCA Records.
Wow.
And then from there on, I mean, I have way more stories after that, but that's the origin of how I did it. And there was no plan at all. I mean, there's never plans. No one knows how to do this. Everybody that I've ever met that does music or does art, doesn't, they have a plan, but it never goes according to that.
Yeah, it's never just do this and then this happens, do that and then that happens.
And the
It's just-
landscape changes. If I told you in 2015 that you'd have to be making TikToks to try to go viral,
they'd be like, what are you talking
like,
about?
no, you don't. You
Yeah.
got to try to, get a meeting with this guy or whatever,
Yeah.
It's like, that's why I don't think it's really that smart to put a lot of effort into that. It's like, yeah, have a path, but it's more have a direction. Like, always move forward, but it's going to be this forever.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's this. And then it's
Yeah,
like, it's
always.
never.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this is a part of the story I didn't share with you. Like with the RCA meetings, Joe finally got me a meeting with an A&R rep. An A&R rep is the guy who's going to sign you. Like Joe's the EVP. He's the guy. So, and there was great things about knowing him, and I still work with him. He's great. There's great things about being signed under him, but there's also bad things. So like when I eventually got signed, everybody in the label and even people there told me this, that they were like, they viewed me as like the coach's son, where it's like, you don't really deserve to have this deal. You never toured. You never did this. You don't have any numbers. And this guy just signed you because he's the EVP. And I was like, yeah, I got fucking lucky. I did. And I'm here, so I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was difficult to get them to take me seriously. But the story I was going to share was for the ups and downs. I was finally had the opportunity to get signed. It was October of whatever year that was. And I'm in the room with the A&R of pretty big bands. I can't say the bands, but big bands. And I played him what had to be the worst songs I've ever made, because I just started smoking weed like 3 months before that. And it was not good. It was like so overindulgent. It's so bad that I don't let anyone listen to it. I let April, my partner, listen to it if she's having a very, very bad day. It's that bad. Like, it's laughable. And I played him this, and he needed to like hide his face to not burst out in tears of laughter of like how terrible this was. And then Joe, after that meeting, emailed me and was like, I'm so disappointed in this. Like, I don't know where we're going to go from here. Like, I don't think you can get signed. And then I had to make more songs October, November, December, January, February. And in February, a new A&R started, and he liked my new songs. And then I got signed.
Were you smoking weed on these new ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
you figured it out.
I reined it in.
You figured it out.
I started smoking when I moved to Hackensack in about 2015. And I smoked for most of my career. So that's another thing, if you wanted to talk about that, like that is so interesting to me. Like, I've not smoked now for almost 3 months. It's the only period of time in my life that I've been completely sober. I started smoking cigarettes, tobacco, drinking at like 13. And I've always been on something up until literally about 3 months ago.
So you're 3 months sober.
Yes, I drink a little bit every now and then, but weed is the one that made me more relaxed and able to talk to people more. So my whole career, touring with Sleeping with Sirens, touring with Andy Black, doing all of these things, radio shows, interviews, I always, even the RCA meetings, I always smoked beforehand.
Did you smoke before you came in here?
No, because I'm sober.
Oh,
So
right.
this is literally
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
this is literally like it almost feels brand new. It feels like it's not even my life because I was smoking, and I wasn't smoking a lot, but it was daily, and it was definitely something I was using to cover anxiety and depression, and I'm dealing with that now. But doing these things, it's so outer body. It's so outer body where I'm like, oh, I'm still doing this. Is this really me? That's what's happening in here while I'm talking to you. It's like, it's nuts to go through that. It's not a personality switch because I'm still the same, but internally I'm not calm. Whereas when I smoke, I'm much more calmer. But anyway, no, I was definitely still smoking then too, but I finally like kind of reined in like what songs I was making, what I was showing, what a major label might want, compared to like what I might want to release. Started doing co-writes with other people instead of just my own music. Started working with other producers instead of my own production. And then, It launched my career. Definitely happy for it. I wouldn't redo anything. Met a lot of really nice people, songwriters and everything, but it wasn't necessarily exactly what I would have wanted to release. Whereas now, being signed to NC Records and my manager, Pat Magnorella, who is amazing and, funds it and supports it, I'm able to literally make what I want, and he gets it. And, it might not be the big dream of being a Justin Bieber necessarily. I mean, it still could be too. Yeah, exactly. But I still make mainstream music though. I love mainstream music. But yeah, so that is my journey in a 15-minute monologue.
So wait, so why did you decide to go sober? Mostly.
I decided to stop smoking because I was getting such bad paranoia and anxiety,
and some bad music.
some
laughable music.
That was years ago.
Okay.
That was years ago. No, literally in the last year, I don't know if it's with age. I hear this happens a lot with people with age, with marijuana specifically, where it just doesn't agree with them anymore. And I was smoking and getting paranoid, and then all these new feelings of being worried that I'm dying were coming in, and that's still happening sober. Actually a little bit more so, but I'm healthy. I'm able to run, I'm able to work out, I can do all these things. I know it's in my head, but that was happening when I was smoking, and then I was am I going crazy? Why do I feel like this?
Yeah, is this even reality?
Yeah, so I was I need to cut all this, and I was slowly doing maybe smoke one every other day, even just one hit, just to see. And every time I was this is horrible. And then when I stopped smoking, I was oh shit, this is still happening when I'm not smoking. So there's something I need to be processing here. So I was I'm just gonna stop this for now, and if it comes back into my life, fine. But there are things that I should be processing something. If there's something that I need to be processing, if that is my reaction. And that's usually the case with my entire life. I have these moments in my life where I'll have massive panic attacks daily for weeks, and then I'll finally slowly rebuild of all right, I got through that. I survived it somehow. I don't know if I have some kind of panic disorder or something. I have no idea.
How do you get through that?
How do I do that? How do I get through it currently?
Yeah.
I get through the panic and anxiety by pretty much having a daily routine, which gets boring to me, but it's important to keep, the sleep cycle the same, go to bed at the same time. I make sure that I work out every day at the gym, even if I feel I'm sick or I'm going to die or I'm lightheaded or whatever it is that, because even though I know it's in my head, sometimes it doesn't feel like it's in my head. And I'm waiting for something to actually happen, and it doesn't still hasn't. If it does in the future, then something was actually wrong. I don't know. But definitely going to the gym every single day or running. I do positive affirmations every day with a YouTube video. It's pretty much it's exactly what you're imagining. I'm grateful. Today's a great day. I deserve to be successful, whatever. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I'm in the present moment. I'm abundance, that kind of thing. Those definitely help. And then trying to eat well. So literally just trying to be the healthiest that I possibly can. And then also making sure that I have a day planned. If I don't have a day planned, if it's just I'm going to go with the flow today, it ends up being me just sitting on a couch worrying about
anxiety,
something. Yep. And I don't think the solution is to always be busy. I definitely think you should be able to sit with yourself and feel what you're feeling. So I definitely also block off times to do that, where I'm I'm going to sit here for 20 minutes with nothing. No music, nothing. I'm just going to sit here and just think. And if that ends up becoming anxiety inducing, okay, I'm accepting that. That's how I feel today. But the positive thing is, when you do that, on the days that you don't have anxiety, you're I'm so fucking grateful because I feel good right now. I'm good. And that means that more good days can happen. But it's difficult. It's definitely difficult, I will say. Yeah.
But you feel like you're on a better path now.
I'm definitely healthier, and I'm definitely analyzing. I'm putting more thought into my life instead of just going.
So just kind of going with the flow. You're actually like strategically like trying to say like, hey, I need to do this. I need to stop doing that, and like
Yes.
really thinking about what you're doing.
Yes, and not just like, this feels good, so I'll do this. It's like, no, this is what I need to do to be this kind of person that I want to be. And most of the time, this doesn't feel good, but eventually this is going to feel good. And I noticed a difference. I mean, I've been working out for like 4 months straight, like actually at the gym. Like I've always been a runner, but actually like at the gym, like I feel like I am now a gym member, whereas when I first started, I was like, I hate being here. This place gives me anxiety. There's too many people around. I don't really like have anger, so I don't like lifting weights. Like I never understood that part of it. Now I get it, and honestly, not smoking weed brings more of those emotions out. So like I love hitting the boxing bag at the gym, like at the end of the workout, like gets all the anger out, gets out all the things naturally instead of me just like smoking. I think smoking kind of like, it feels great, and there's still I'm still, the jury's out on this one for me because I still like smoking, and I think there's positives to it if you don't have an addict mindset. I do. Like I am definitely someone who gets addicted to things that he likes, everything, no matter what. I tried an ice bath. I bought a freezer. I do an ice bath every day now. Yeah. Like that's just who I am. I started running
now too.
I started doing the sauna because there's a sauna in the gym. So
nice.
Pretty much,
Okay.
but it's an obsession where it's like, I'm not just gonna do it today. It's like, no, I'm doing this every day at this time.
Every day at 10 o'clock, no matter what.
Yes, and the
Okay.
same thing that's the same way I used to smoke though, where it'd be like, I'm gonna smoke every day. I can't smoke until at least noon. Okay, 12:01, I'll smoke once, and then I'm gonna smoke one time at 7 p.m. exactly on the dot. Like I try to regiment it to trick myself that I'm not like addicted, but like maybe addicted is not the right word, but I was dependent on it, and everything that I enjoy, I end up really, I don't want to say overdoing it, but I obsess on it for sure, everything. So I'm trying to pick good things to obsess over.
Yeah, it's that's such an interesting topic because I've had this conversation before on the show, like with some other people, just about like obsession. I mean, I don't know if you know, but like I have a hoodie that is part of my brand. It's actually the word passion is crossed off, and underneath it says obsession.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But it's more about healthy obsessions.
Mm-hmm.
But like this conversation is so fascinating to me because like the addict mindset that, like you said, you have, right? You have an addictive personality that kind of goes hand in hand like with the obsession, and obsessions could be good or bad. Mm-hmm. Right. And it's like, you can either go down a really bad path or you can go down a good path.
Yep.
And it's like,
yeah.
it's like
and
this.
You got to pick which ones. Like I play video games every day. I love Rocket League. Love that game. I play with my brothers. I say to myself that I'm doing it because I want to talk to my brothers, and that's how we talk. But if they can't play, I still play.
Yeah.
You know, is it good? I mean, it's better than doing drugs, in my opinion. It's
definitely,
kind of,
yeah.
but it still has the same like effect on your brain as drugs.
Yeah.
In a way.
It gives you like that hit.
Exactly.
Like,
so, it's the same thing with people on their phones with social media, or how often they check that. Like I try to make sure that I'm checking myself too, of like, hey, how much am I on this? How much am I? But I think there becomes a point of too much self-observation that I think that actually fuels my anxiety a little bit.
and then you become too like robotic, where it's like,
where I'm like, now I'm almost like, I'm so fucking predictable now. It's like it gets boring.
Yeah.
And you're like, I gotta
live on the edge a
something
little.
new. Yeah, but then I
Right.
find something new, and then I over obsess on it. And then it is. Here I am.
Just go around and around and around and around.
Yeah, it's fucking fascinating to me. I don't
It
know
is.
what is the right or wrong answer. You're not getting the right or wrong answer here. I'll tell you that.
And I don't have it for either.
It's a discussion.
It's definitely a discussion.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk about this probably for another hour.
Yeah.
And
get no answer.
yeah.
Yeah,
and even just like with musicians, I mean, a lot of musicians I feel like struggle with a lot of that same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, substance abuse, addiction.
Yep.
They're all high performers. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's just such an interesting.
Rick Rubin has a book out. I'm listening to his audiobook, which I listen to like at the gym. And he explains it that like most artists that he knows are oversensitive about certain things, and drugs calm that down. So that's what they do.
Interesting.
To feel a little better. Like, so like you can choose to like try to tap in a little bit more and not use the drugs, or, you know, like, I don't know. With creation too, like I will say, like if I drink and make something, or if I smoke and drink something, or if I just make something, the product's definitely different. But take away creating, just say in normal life, I also think that artists don't have a traditional lifestyle, and it's so unstable. So I think that's also something that makes them more susceptible to be like, it's almost acceptable too. It's like, oh, hey, the artist is here, get him a drink, you know, like, you know, every single show,
get him what does he want?
Whatever he wants.
What's his drug of choice?
That's right. Every single show I've ever played, I've always been offered a drink. Every single show. And that's great if I want to drink.
Right.
If I go into that show saying, I'm really going to try to not drink tonight, I just really want to try this, and then someone offers me a free drink, I usually get the drink, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's a shortcut, and it's hard to choose, like, when do you want to take the shortcut, when do you not? Like, yeah, there's all those videos online that are like, you know, never take the shortcut, never, you know. It's like, balance.
But in that
Everything's
moment,
balanced. Everything's balanced, though. You have to choose, like, all right, maybe I will take a little bit, you know, if I have like one, you know, Jameson on the rocks, it's like, all right, well, at least don't feel guilty doing that. Like, I always have a problem with feeling guilty afterwards. I'm like, oh, I just shouldn't have done that. But it's like, I don't know, man. It's a difficult topic.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's not just for substances. No, I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. That's the thing. I'm still figuring it out. I'll know more probably in like a couple months, but for now I'm figuring it out.
All right. Well, hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. That's you know, everyone's still figuring shit out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
This is kind of the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
It's the roller coaster of life.
Yeah, it's the human condition. I think artists feel it a little bit more. That's all.
Yeah.
I think they're more sensitive to it.
And for sure.
It's your job to do that.
You're just figuring it out. Like, that's just kind of the way it goes, dude. Like, so do you think that the addiction, like your addictive personality has like helped or hurt you with your music career?
I would say that it probably helped, only because it makes me a little more, like I said earlier, like a little more obsessive, and all in with music, with whatever it is, but especially in my music career, for sure.
Yeah. I think that definitely it definitely helps, because it allows you to just really be able to like focus, so like hyper focus on to just really achieving, you know, what, you know, a great track. Like it really allows you, I think.
Yeah, I will say that it affects me negatively currently, because I'm so used to creating with being under the influence of something. So like I'm making a new album now, and I actually just realized this the other day when I was talking with April. The last two albums that I made, I actually did make sober, because the one was Yelling in a Quiet Neighborhood. I was going through a divorce, so I was sober trying to figure that out. The second one after that was Everyone I Know Will Die, and April, my partner, was in the hospital because she just got diagnosed with epilepsy, so I was sober to make sure that I was able to take care of her. And now this new album, I'll also be sober. So I
Interesting.
Yeah, I still find it challenging to like write sober, but I think I'm actually like getting a little bit more out of it spiritually, and you know, just getting it off my chest, and not having it, you know, be tainted by substances.
Yeah, it's a really interesting thing. But you know, and you also just mentioned, you know, writing new music. You're putting out some new music. So what are you working on right now?
Yeah, I'm working on an album. I sent like 30 songs to my manager and label, and was like, which ones do you guys like? I want to make an album of basically whatever songs I have on the shelf.
Yeah, how does that work?
Yeah, it's difficult.
Process.
Yeah, there's many songs that I have that are finished, even with production, that just have not been released or just don't make sense.
They're just in the vault.
Yeah, they're in a vault. So I sent all of those to him, and I, you know, said, which ones do you like the best? We picked 10, and some of them are written literally from 2012, and some of them I wrote a couple months ago.
Wow.
And the whole thing's going to be kind of acoustic driven, very warm, for some reason, seeing it in like colors is very like sunburst, and it's just gonna be. It's going to be produced, but it's not going to be like the alternative record that I wrote with Everyone I Know Will Die, and it's not going to be super pop like any of the other stuff that I've had before that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what else you got coming up?
Well, I don't know. I'm working on that album all of May. I'm going to Nashville to see if I possibly want to relocate there, and recording a bunch of other artists with my company, the Pear Entertainment, and I think that's it for right now. I'm fairly busy, but it's good busy. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Can we also talk about the fact that like we're basically almost twins today?
we are.
Like
I should have worn my hat.
I should have made you wear one of these backwards hats.
You
and
should
then
have.
like
I had a beard
And
a little
glasses.
bit ago
Did
too.
you?
Yeah. Like, I'm probably the same length if I didn't shave
come
this morning.
on.
It was pretty
You
close.
shaved it this morning?
This morning I shaved
Stop.
it was just stubble. It wasn't that much, but it was
Okay.
close. But I had an actual good beard going.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing like, again, because I've never met you in person till
Yeah.
today, but like I do remember like looking at your Instagram, and now I'm like, oh yeah, he did have a beard.
Yeah, I had a. It was the first time I ever grew a beard. I was like, I'm gonna try it.
I was like, he did have a beard.
Yeah.
And I knew there was like almost like something different.
I had to buy product and everything to like make it like sit down on my face.
I had a little bit of
Yeah.
that this morning too, but at this point might have worn off a little.
Is that as long as you've ever had your beard?
A little longer. I think when it gets longer than this though, it gets like weird looking.
That's what mine kind of started doing.
Yeah, it just doesn't like look right.
And then I didn't want to keep trimming it, so I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of work either way. It's either you gotta like shave, like actually like shave like every day to like be like you, right? Or
This
you-
isn't even a real razor though. This is like a trimmer.
Oh,
like,
is it?
close? So it's like a little bit.
like,
You got a little shadow.
Yeah, ripping the hairs out of your face with
I'm
it.
not doing that thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing the trimmer
Yeah.
closest thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I don't really think about it. I don't really think about my appearance that much, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Which I probably should, as I, photographed and
Yeah, and you're in the entertainment business. I mean,
Yeah.
you're on stage literally.
yeah,
quite a lot.
I have such identity problems. I'm like always, I literally check myself in the mirror just to like remember what I look like. Sometimes it's very strange.
Well, I know we had to stop like 3 times today for you to just to, or maybe we had a memory card mishap.
We might
Who
have.
knows?
We
Who
might
knows?
have. But you know what? We pulled it off.
We did.
We pulled it off.
No one's ever
Hey,
gonna know.
Yo,
Listen.
we got to get through it.
Listen, should we just tell the people? No one's ever gonna know. We had a memory card mishap.
We did, and if they can figure out where in the show, I'll send them a free shirt. If they know
that.
the exact timestamp, I'll
Me
do
too.
that. All
Me
right,
too,
let's
yeah.
do that.
Yeah, and a
we'll
hat.
make it a game.
And a hat,
That hat he's wearing.
right? Exactly. Yeah, you're gonna get a worn hat with like my hair lice and everything.
Yeah,
I don't
nice.
have hair lice, guys. Just kidding. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, but we should do that. We should actually do that.
Yeah.
All right.
No one's gonna know.
Get
though.
back to the people. I want to see.
And if they do, Eric, the producer, who's going to be cutting this all together. We're going to make him actually pay for the shirts that we have to give away because
And fire him.
and Eric, you're fired.
So you better hope you don't get it right.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
But
Big game.
but listen, like we made it.
We did it.
We did it.
Did it.
We for sure did it, and
Yeah.
it took us a little while to figure it out, but
No, it was great. Great conversation.
sweating. Are we sweaty?
I'm definitely sweaty. I got some
Yeah.
pit
Are you?
stains. I'm hoping it's not showing up.
I can't see it.
That's great. I'm not even going to lift my arms up.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I'm gonna make you give me like a double high five
I
right
know.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, I won't do that to you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, hey,
That was it.
thanks, yeah. Little T-Rex arms, you know.
That's right.
All right, man. So how can our listeners stream your music, and where can they find you online?
So my music is everywhere, Spotify and Apple Music and everywhere. Just search KULICK, and I am on socials at KULICK Official for all of the platforms, mostly on Instagram. I don't really use the TikTok too much. The TikTok. I think I said it like a 30-year-old.
TikTok.
I really did.
Yeah.
I was hoping it gets banned. Anyway, you can find it there. Also, if you are interested in recording with me and my partner April, like I said, we run a studio called the Pear Entertainment. Our website is thepairentertainment.com. All of our accolades and bullshit's on there for you to check out if you think that's important. But honestly, just listen to the music that we've produced. There's a playlist on Spotify, and all the music that I've ever put out, pretty much, and all the music April Rose Gabrielli's ever put out is our productions and our mixing and our mastering for the most part.
All in like one. You have everything all in like one playlist.
Yeah, I don't know. I do. I can send you the link and like maybe you can like include it. I forget exactly.
We'll drop it in the comments, people.
Yeah.
Right now, check
Just
the
check it out
comments.
below.
And if it's not there, then that means Kulik forgot to send me it. So
I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna send it, and I'm gonna send a shirt just in case someone gets it right.
Yeah. On standby, I'll have all that stuff on standby in case anybody can.
I actually wanted to bring you one and I forgot.
It's all right. You're just gonna have to give me the pit stain one you're wearing right now.
That's
the plain black. We can do like a shirt swap. Listen, man, I almost said like a.
Will you even notice?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Yours might be a little tighter though.
Mine definitely has more sweat.
Your sleeves are a little shorter.
This one's a long boy.
Okay, mine's not that long.
Yeah, this one has like a tail.
Yeah, mine might be a belly shirt on you actually.
Yeah, I don't need another belly shirt.
Because like you're taller than me.
Definitely.
And this is kind of like short.
Mine will be like a snuggie on you.
Yeah, it'll be like a dress.
Yes.
It'll be like a really
it's
short.
It's kind of
dress.
a dress on me.
Is it?
If I don't wear pants, it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was 2023, so I can do that. I guess.
Yeah. Things are weird these days.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't care.
Listen, man, on the TikTok,
do it. That's right. Do what makes you happy, and that's it. And do what makes you happy, and fuck off. That's like my motto.
I love that.
That's it. I'm gonna make a shirt that says that. That's gonna be my new merch shirt. I think.
Oh man, I'll be the first one to buy one.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Do what makes you happy, and fuck off.
That's it. All right, dude. Well, I appreciate you making the trip in, and this was a blast.
Yes, it was fun.
Yeah, it was an adventure.
It was.
That's for sure.
It was. There was a couple detours, but we did it.
And yeah, there's more adventures to come too, people.
That's right.
We won't tell anybody anything else coming up, but
That's right.
But yeah, lot more adventures to come. Make sure you guys check out KULICK online, and thanks again for joining me, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, KULICK on the Stacks podcast in the Blue Door Studio. Thanks for joining me.
Of course.
If you want to see more On The Stacks content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/OnTheStacks podcast, or search the hashtag OnTheStacks on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.